Welcome to the Deep Dives. Today we're looking at something pretty interesting. It's about how the world of work is changing, right? And specifically, how web agencies are, well, adapting. They're always juggling tight budgets, dynamic projects.
Mm,
It's just how it is for them.
absolutely. Yeah, it's a really fast-paced sector. And, they need workspace solutions that are just as agile,
Yeah.
flexible.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, actually, how the physical space, the office, can either hold them back or really give them a boost.
Exactly. And that brings us right to co-working spaces. We looked at this great article from Brandnook, their co-working provider, actually right here in Indianapolis.
Oh, okay.
And they lay out a really strong case for why co-working is becoming like a key strategy for web agencies.
Yeah, Brandnook's view is useful because they're right there seeing it happen day to day and focusing specifically on web agencies. That gives us a really practical sort of boots on the ground perspective on the shift.
Totally. So for everyone listening, our mission today is to really dig into this.
Right.
Why co-working? Why now for web agencies? Think of it as your quick guide to understanding this trend. Okay, so let's dive in. First up, something fundamental for any business: money, cost effectiveness.
Right. That's probably the biggest draw initially. I mean, think about the traditional costs. Your own office, you've got rent, utilities, internet, cleaning, maintenance. The list just goes on.
Mm,
Co-working changes that whole model because those costs are shared across everyone there.
right. So instead of one agency footing the whole bill, it's spread out. And what really jumped out from the article was this idea of like all-inclusive pricing.
Right.
A lot of the boutique places offer that. That seems like it would make budgeting way simpler. Imagine knowing exactly what your workspace costs each month. Fixed.
Oh, it's a huge advantage. Huge. Especially for, smaller agencies, maybe just starting out, working with tighter margins. That predictability, it lets them forecast better, avoid those nasty surprises like a massive heating bill in winter or a sudden repair cost. That can really throw off a budget, right?
Oh, yeah.
And for a small web agency, think about it, those thousands saved on just rent. Maybe that goes into marketing instead, gives them an edge they wouldn't have had.
That's a great point. And it's not just sharing the current costs, it's also the flexibility, right?
Yeah.
Scaling space up or down.
Exactly.
That seems massive.
Yeah.
You're not stuck in some long lease paying for 3 empty desks half the year.
That's such a critical point. Web agencies, their workload fluctuates, team size changes project to project. Co-working lets them adjust their membership, their space needs really fluidly. They avoid just, hemorrhaging money on empty space during the quieter times.
Okay, so the cost side is clear.
Yeah.
Big benefits there. But it's not just about the bottom line, is it?
Mm.
Let's talk about the actual workspaces, how they're flexible, tailored,
Mm-hmm.
how that helps these agencies.
Yeah, absolutely. So co-working spaces usually have like a whole menu of options, different memberships, different types of spaces. Agencies can pick what fits their team size right now and, the kind of work they're doing. That adaptability is just vital in their world.
And the shorter commitments, not being locked into a multi-year lease.
Yeah.
That must feel really good for smaller or newer agencies dealing with maybe a bit more uncertainty.
Oh, precisely. Yeah. It gives them agility. They can react faster to market shifts or, their own growth spurts or dips. Land a big client, suddenly need more people. They can often just upgrade their plan within the co-working space.
Yeah.
Much easier than finding, negotiating, fitting out a whole new traditional office space.
Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare avoided. Plus, the article mentioned bookable meeting rooms,
Yeah.
conference facilities. That's just practical, isn't it?
Totally.
No scrambling to find a coffee shop or renting some bland hotel room for a client pitch.
It streamlines things massively. And those shared facilities, they're usually well-equipped, good tech, saves the agency buying and maintaining projectors, screens, all that stuff.
Right.
And actually, beyond just basic Wi-Fi, a lot of spaces now have like proper enterprise-level video conferencing systems.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, which is pretty crucial if you're presenting to remote clients, helps maintain that professional look.
And you mentioned the different environments within the space, quiet zones, collaborative areas. That seems like it could genuinely affect how people work, their productivity, maybe even like their work-life balance.
For sure. It caters to different needs, right? Sometimes you need to put your head down, focus. Other times you need to bounce ideas around. Having the choice, that definitely helps concentration, efficiency, and, just being around other people, that social interaction, it can make the workday feel more vibrant, more engaging than being isolated.
Okay, speaking of engagement, let's get into productivity and creativity. How does co-working actually boost those? It's clearly more than just a desk, right?
Oh, much more. Yeah. The article highlighted the basics first, like good ergonomic chairs, reliable high-speed internet.
The essentials.
Exactly. The fundamentals for just getting work done without hassle. Minimizing those basic frustrations lets agencies focus on, the actual client work.
But then there's this other layer.
Yeah.
This mix of people, professionals from all sorts of different industries, all in the same space. That sounds like a recipe for, I don't know, unexpected ideas.
It really is fascinating. You've got individuals, small teams, tech, marketing, design, finance, you name it, all sharing the coffee machine. And that naturally leads to those serendipitous encounters, cross-pollination of ideas. You just don't get that as easily in a siloed office.
Right.
The potential for just bumping into someone who sparks something new, it seems really compelling. Can you maybe elaborate on how that translates into, real benefits for a web agency?
Well, the article actually gave an example. Like a software agency bumps into some UX testers or maybe some niche developers right there in the space. And suddenly, boom, a whole new project idea comes out of it. Or a collaboration forms. That's pretty concrete.
Exactly. It's about accessing this wider network of skills and perspectives that go way beyond their own little bubble. And having both those quiet zones for deep work and the buzzy common areas for brainstorming, that supports the whole creative cycle, doesn't it? From thinking to doing.
And it sounds like the spaces themselves often encourage this, right? With workshops, events, networking things.
Yeah, many do. They actively curate it.
So it's not just a passive thing. It's like a built-in professional development hub almost, and a social one.
Precisely. Those events can spark ideas, offer learning opportunities, get teams thinking differently. It creates this really dynamic, stimulating atmosphere. It can be really motivating. Helps people innovate.
Okay, so we've hit costs, flexibility, productivity, creativity. Now, let's talk connections, networking, collaboration. How do co-working spaces specifically help web agencies there?
This is a really, really big one. I mean, the whole model is built around community, right? So you've got this instant network of professionals from all sorts of backgrounds just by being there. For web agencies, that's potentially gold. Building relationships, expanding their reach.
And it's not just like random chats, is it? The article stressed how agencies can connect with actual potential clients in these spaces.
Exactly.
Or just gain insights from people working in totally different fields.
That's a key point. Being exposed to different needs, different viewpoints, it can really sharpen an agency's own offerings. Maybe they hear about a problem in, say, the healthcare tech startup down the hall and realize they have a solution, leads to unexpected business.
Yeah.
A simple chat by the kettle could genuinely lead to a new project or some really valuable market insight.
And that exposure to different skills, again, it links back to finding those collaborators, right? Potential partners.
Definitely. A web agency finds a great freelance copywriter or maybe a business strategist they can team up with. Suddenly, they can offer more comprehensive packages to their own clients. It becomes mutually beneficial.
Right.
And those networking events and workshops we talked about, they really help make those connections happen more intentionally, not just leaving it to chance.
It sounds like it could seriously fuel growth, not just finding clients, but building those strategic alliances.
Absolutely. It opens doors, creates opportunities they just wouldn't stumble across sitting in their own isolated office.
Okay, let's switch gears slightly. Something really important for client businesses, like web agencies, image, professionalism. How does co-working help with that?
Well, first impressions count, don't they?
They really do.
And co-working spaces, they usually invest a lot in looking good. Modern design, well-maintained, clean. It just creates a much more positive professional vibe when a client walks in compared to maybe a slightly scruffy startup office.
Yeah, the article mentions state-of-the-art amenities, stylish furniture, good tech. That definitely sounds more polished.
It signals credibility, right? Professionalism. Plus, a lot of these spaces have really desirable addresses, prime business districts.
Right, like downtown Indianapolis, as the article mentioned.
Exactly. Having that address on your business card or website, it can seriously boost an agency's reputation, especially if they're competing against bigger, more established firms. That downtown address carries weight.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
And the meeting rooms, again, having high-quality spaces for those crucial client meetings seems essential.
Oh, absolutely. Well-equipped rooms, reliable tech like good projectors, fast internet. It lets agencies present with confidence, professionally. It just reinforces their capabilities, their attention to detail. Looks good.
And they mentioned reception services, too. That professional welcome. Another nice touch for the client experience.
Yeah, it adds another layer of polish, doesn't it? Shows clients the agency is organized, professional, even if they don't have their own dedicated receptionist.
So thinking about how that helps them compete with, say, larger agencies.
Well, it kind of levels the playing field, I think. Yeah, they get that polished image, the prime location, access to great facilities,
Mm.
all without the massive overhead of a traditional lease in those areas.
So they can punch above their weight a bit,
Yeah,
attract bigger clients maybe.
exactly. It lets smaller agencies present themselves as really credible, established players.
Okay, we're getting near the end here, but one more really vital piece for web agencies. Access. Access to talent, access to amenities.
Yeah, this is another significant plus. The article highlighted this really well. These spaces are often full of diverse professionals, right? Graphic designers, developers, marketers, writers, you name it. It creates this like immediate talent pool right there.
Wow. So if an agency needs a specialist for a project, like right now,
Mhm.
they might literally find someone suitable working a few feet away.
It's totally possible, yeah. That proximity makes collaboration so much easier. You can scale up your team's skills quickly without going through a whole formal, lengthy hiring process. Find a freelancer right there.
That's amazing.
And it can spark ideas too, right? Just chatting with someone with different skills leads to innovation.
And the amenities themselves,
Yeah.
the practical stuff. Good internet, tech infrastructure, meeting rooms always available. It takes a load off the agency, doesn't it?
Oh, completely. It lets them focus on their actual work, the creative stuff, the technical stuff for clients. They're not bogged down managing the internet connection or fixing the printer or booking external rooms. It's just handled.
Makes them more efficient.
Hugely enhances productivity, streamlines operations.
And again, having those good meeting rooms readily available ties back to presenting professionally to clients without needing their own expensive setup.
It's all about having the resources you need right when you need them, allowing them to operate effectively, professionally from day one.
So wrapping this all up, it really feels like co-working isn't just some fad for web agencies. It's offering real, tangible, strategic benefits.
That's absolutely the takeaway, I think. Yeah.
Well,
When you add it all up, the cost savings, the flexibility, the potential boost to productivity and creativity, the networking, the professional image, the access to talent and amenities, it paints a really clear picture of why it's so attractive to them.
it really does. It seems like a very smart move for agencies navigating was often a super competitive, fast-changing industry.
It gives them tools to optimize how they work, enhance what they can do, and ultimately, thrive in that environment.
So for everyone listening, as we finish this deep dive,
Hmm.
maybe think about this. How might this whole shift towards more flexible work models like co-working start to reshape other industries too, beyond just web agencies? It kind of makes you wonder about the future of the office, doesn't it? How and where we'll all be working down the line. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to The Deep Dive.